I'd like to introduce Patricia from Scotland, who takes LDN for multiple sclerosis. Thank you for joining me, Patricia.
No problem.
Could you tell us when you first started to experience MS symptoms?
I experienced the MS symptoms on 2004. I basically didn't realise there were MS symptoms. I thought they were just pulled muscle that I had gained within going to the gym. But because I have got quite a good doctor, she obviously had saw other symptoms, and she wanted me to go to a neurologist. I have private medical insurance, so within a 3-week period from going from a dropped foot, I was diagnosed with MS.
Okay. And did you just have the dropped foot at that time, or did you have other problems?
Nope, that was the only thing I had at that particular time. As I said, I thought I'd pulled a muscle in the gym, and I was actually going to a chiropractor, and my doctor said, no, I'd rather you go and see a neurologist.
Okay. So, before you found LDN, I don't know how long that period was from being diagnosed to starting, but did you have any other symptoms before you started LDN?
Yes, basically what happened was I was getting very tired. I also had an issue with my right eye. Could see out of the eye, but I had a funny sensation going with that. I went back to my GP, and she then prescribed MS medication for me to try with regards to the fatigue.
And how would you have rated your quality of life on a score of 1 to 10 before you started LDN?
On a 1 to 10, it would probably still be quite high because I have a primary progressive MS, and it's a slow, basically it was taking my health away. But I previously was quite an active person, and the fatigue did hit me quite hard.
So with the fatigue, did that knock your quality of life down?
Oh yes, because I had to basically give up my job.
Okay. So, pushing you there, Patricia, what number would you give it, would you say?
At the time, I would probably say about a 6 or a 7 at the time.
So, how did you hear about LDN?
Basically, I used to be an IT manager, so I hit the internet basically, and I started looking at what was available, because the medication that they gave me for the fatigue wasn't working. Actually, it was working against me. And when I started investigating, I came across a site for LDN. I live in Glasgow, or just outside Glasgow, and I was aware that there was a doctor prescribing LDN. So I contacted him and discussed with him. I then went back to my GP and I discussed it with her. And at the time, she said, well, it's not licensed. But what I did was I gave her all the information and I said, can you think about it? She thought about it. Basically, then she asked for my husband and I to go and have a visit with her. We did that, and she said, basically, as long as you don't sue me, I'm quite happy to prescribe this over the NHS.
Oh,
and
wow.
That was 8.5. That was 8.5 years ago. So basically, I went on it, and I came off it to try and see if there's any difference on it. And my GP has been monitoring it with me as well. And I think within year 3, she asked me how it was doing. I said I felt that what it does with my fatigue is that I still get tired, but my recovery period is greatly increased. if I basically listen to my body when I'm starting to get, I can then, within maybe an hour, can be back up to full speed. If I didn't have LDN, it could be a day or 2 days.
Goodness. So what would you say now your quality of life is with LDN?
I would say with regards to LDN, I'm quite an advocate of LDN. Over the years, I have tried other medications for MS, and they've actually made my MS worse. I've now come to a steady level with the LDN, and it doesn't have the side effects of the other medication. It's good for my fatigue levels, and it's also good. I don't have any cognitive problems at all.
Mm-hmm.
So don't have it. I think at one point when I did come off it, I had a little bit of brain fog, but that's no longer there.
Okay. So pushing you again for a number, what number would you say your quality of life was?
While I'm on it, I would say it's about 9 out of 10.
A what, sorry?
9 out of 10.
A 9, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Goodness, so that is amazing. What would you say to other people who are thinking of trying LDN?
I would say do your homework, look into it. Everyone is different, and basically if you want your GP to be involved, you have to make sure that you're well armed with the information with regards to LDN. From my experience, I have now had primary progressive for 11 years. I've been on LDN for nearly 9. Between the two areas, LDN keeps me stable, and the MS drugs actually make it worse.
Mm-hmm.
So I would, but that's myself. I would actually say, do your investigation, go well armed if you want to go and speak to your GP, and hopefully you'll be successful.
Well, what can I say? Amazing story. Primary progressive is not very kind to some people, and you know,
yes, I'm aware of that.
You're doing amazingly well, and thank you very much. It will be very inspirational for other people.
No problem.